And that's where feminism comes in. That's where women want women rights. They want to fight for equality. That's so weird how Republicans don't understand that. But this young man, I have high hopes for this young man. So let's talk Christian Walker. Now, like I said at the beginning, he started off, or at least on my radar, I'm pretty sure he was doing his thing before. He started off on my radar being your typical Republican voice, and especially being a son of a Republican runner-up. You expect for them to say certain things. Democrats bad, Joe Biden sucks. Republican values, Republican better, just your basic type of conversation. But then something weird happened. His dad was kind of doing some shady things, and he, in a sense, kind of jeopardized his dad's chance of winning. And he came from a place of honesty. And to me, it doesn't matter if you're if you're a Republican or a Democrat. If you come from a place of honesty, you're going to speak truth. If you kind of black out, what you're supposed to say and what's going to help your party win, if you kind of avoid thinking about that and just speak from the heart, you're going to sound like you're woke. I mean, I know that sounds weird, but you're going to sound woke, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and take a look of see what Mr. Christian Walker had to say.
What trad people don't seem to understand is feminism exists today because men misbehave. Women were at the house cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids, while men were having kids with mistresses, cheating, living this double life. It got to a point where women were like, wait, so I'm just the maid and nanny? You're out here banging all these hoes, doing all this stuff on me, running game, and I can't go work. I can't support myself. I'm so busy at the house that I can't even get out of this relationship. I might as well go get a job and be independent and not need you. That's why we're at where we're at. It's easy for the trad people to look back in time and go, oh, that would have been nice, stay at home, whatever. Yeah, it'd be great if men did their effing job and behaved. They don't. So yes, women need independence and to be able to take care of themselves.
Oh.
Duh.
Oh my God. Okay. Before we get a little further into this video, if anyone was to say, if anyone was to hear this and say, does this sound woke to you? They're going to say yes. Now, of course, people like to label Democrats as being too woke and label that as a negative thing for whatever reason. This is just common sense. It's weird to me how people think common sense and just, putting two and two together and label that as something bad. And when it comes to feminism, a lot of Republicans, I'm not going to say all of them, but a lot of Republicans and probably some Democrats think that a women's position, a women's place in life is to be at home and take care of the kids. Which, if that's how you want to run your marriage, by all means, power to you. That's kind of how me and my wife do it. You know what I'm saying? I go to work, she stays home, she homeschools, and she takes care of the kids, because that's better for us financially. That's just kind of how our marriage kind of works. We work together, we tag team. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, these kind of alpha male kind of pretenders want to think woman stays at home, man does whatever he wants. But a woman, she has only one job, and that's to have the kids and take care of the kids. But what's weird is this young man right here is not worried about what Republicans are going to say. Because if you hear some of these high-tier Republican speakers, they're not going to say this. They're not going to say that. Ben Shapiro is not going to say that. Matt Walsh is not going to say that. But if they're being honest with themselves, they will 100% agree with that. And I just think that's hilarious, because sane people say things like this. they understand that a woman can be independent. She doesn't have to depend on a man. And just how that's even framed, usually a man would take advantage of that situation and go out and, do things that they're not supposed to be doing. But the woman, her number one job is to do what housewives are supposed to do. And if they don't do that, they're not being they're not doing their duties as a woman. And that's where feminism comes in. That's where women want women rights. They want to fight for equality. That's so weird how Republicans don't understand that. But this young man, I have high hopes for this young man.
I agree. That was Christian Walker, content creator and conservative political commentator who usually blames the left for the problems in today's America, sure. But his brand is ranting about stuff he's already mad at or doesn't like. But here, he seems to be making sense. He's making sense. Before I continue, if you didn't know, Christian Walker is the son of former Heisman Trophy winner and current U.S. Senate candidate Herschel Walker. Now, Christian will go on to say, "You're not a family man when you left us to bang a bunch of women, threatened to kill us, and had us move over 6 times in 6 months running from your violence. Additionally, I don't care about someone who has a bad past and takes accountability, but how dare you lie and act as though you're some moral, Christian, upright man. You've lived a life of destroying other people's lives. How dare you?" When I read this thread of tweets, immediately what came to mind was all the times Christian promoted his dad. And Twitter reminded me of Christian's other terrible takes. Like in May, when he said pro-choice women shouldn't worry about abortion being legal because they aren't attractive enough for men to have sex with them.
Damn.
But today, my heart goes out to him. Based on what we already know about Herschel's past and what he's been forced to admit himself so far, plus what Christian is at the very least alleging, this seems to be the response of someone who has been subjected to violence, trauma, abuse, and neglect, not knowing when and if he can speak up. That's how it goes. So leftists might want to keep that in mind, despite potential feelings like he could have shut this whole thing down before it even started. So,
and like I said, usually when you experience traumas like that, when you experience those kind of life-changing moments, especially with your parents, family members growing up, those play a huge effect on you growing up and how you kind of portray the world. And that's pretty much what sane people try to explain. Like, your past does play a part in how you operate throughout the world. So, I mean, this might be trying to connect a long line here, but, even slavery, 400 plus years of that, it's going to affect something in the future. Just like if a young child is being raised up in an abusive home, and where the father is not in a home on purpose, and he's, beating his wife or, being violent with the kids, that's going to play a part whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? Some people can shake that off and some people can pretend like it didn't happen. But if you're being honest with yourself, like this young man was, and like I said, he probably was one of the main people who took that opportunity from his dad from winning. But he didn't care about that. All he cared about was truth and being honest and taking ownership of your mistakes. And I honestly, if half the people in America did that, I think America will be that much better. Just took accountability ability for your actions, didn't make excuses, and held yourself to a higher standard. Hey, America, home of the free, land of the brave, or land. You understand what I'm trying to say. That's one thing that I think is missing. So, I mean, power to Mr. Christian Walker here.